everyone. Welcome to the February BLT Business Lunch and Talk. The first one we're having this year. So let's see. I want to welcome you and just hope that you enjoy what we have to share with you today. And we're going to let Greg Pullmans, who's the president.
Julie? Okay, I can read Julie's lips and I have the agenda. So that was me. Welcome everybody. As always, a huge shout out to Julie for putting this together. Much appreciated, Julie. Few things going on at the chamber, but I wanted to just backtrack real quickly. For those of you that were at the banquet, you know, I said I gave some remarks and said what a great place we have to live and highlighted some of the things that were great about living in La Junta. And I missed this, but it was definitely reminded to me yesterday, not only in La Junta, but the Arkansas Valley, we have a way of helping each other out when we need help. And we certainly saw that yesterday with the fire over on 3rd Street and the collaboration and the effort and the assistance from Rocky Ford Fire, Los Animas Fire, and Chirac Fire. And so just another reason to be grateful and thankful for where we live, for our partnerships with our surrounding communities, and how we're always willing to help each other out when we need help. I did mention the banquet. We did have our banquet, 120th annual banquet. We had a great crowd. Many of you were there. Thank you for coming. For those of you that did come, we'll do it again next year, and we look forward to that and appreciate the support we got this year. We are in the middle of our membership drive for the chamber. As I mentioned at the banquet, we restructured our membership fees. We lowered them this year. Make it much more affordable for individuals, couples, and businesses to join the chamber and benefit from the chamber. A little pitch. This is our fundraising drive is the primary source of our revenue. So we obviously want you to be members, not only for the revenue, but one of the reasons we lowered the prices was to try to get more people involved and build the membership, which will then allow us to do more things to support our members. So if you haven't signed up to be a member, either individually or business-wise, Timory, I'm sure, will be hounding you, or you can email Timory or let her know that you'd be interested. And her email is info@chamber.org. Last thing I would mention is, again, I mentioned this at the banquet. I said that as the chamber, we were going to host 2 community-wide meetings to solicit input and ideas about what the community would like to see the chamber do, what the chamber can be doing better, how we could better serve our members and the community at whole. So we're going to have the first one of those on March the 8th. I think that's a Tuesday, March the 8th at 6:30 p.m. at the Senior Center. Not a lot of fancy presentations. Really want to just have an open dialogue with the community and members, as I said, about what we can do better. So 6:30 at the Senior Center. We will be done by 7:45. Get everybody out of there. So if you're available, we would love to see you on March the 8th at 6:30 at the Senior Center. And that wraps it up, unless anybody has anything they want to know about the chamber or any comments.
Yes, are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions for Greg? So thank you, Greg, for sharing about the chamber, and we hope we'll see everybody at the meeting in March, Tuesday, March 8th at 6:30. So Rob Oquist, I see you're on here. If you want to take over and talk about the county and what's going on in the county.
Sure, Julie, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay, we're having a little problem with our computers here at the county. had a little hacking problem, and so they're still working on it. So sometimes they're working and sometimes they're not, and I can't get a picture on my screen, but I'll go ahead and tell you what's going on. We're getting closer to the end of our magistrate's courtroom. It's really looking nice. They're starting to put the carpeting in now, so it's getting closer and closer to being done. We're still working on the jail. You know, we need to do something with it, and so we're still trying to find places and working on it. The Bent's Fort project, we got a grant for $45,000, so we're still working on the feasibility study and making sure that it's all going to work before we go ahead with it.
Now, Rob, explain to the audience what that project is, because some people may not be aware of it yet.
Okay, the Bent's Fort project is a project that it's been pushed around for years and years and years, and talking about making a parking area across from Hadley Park there on Highway 50, and being able to make a walking bridge across the Arkansas River, a bridge big enough that for handicapped people, we could take a golf cart over and pick them up and take them back. But it would get you, instead of having to go around, you could park there on Highway 50 and cross the river and go to into Bent's Fort and see the fort. So it's been a project they've looked at for a long time, and we're just trying it again and see what happens and see how everybody feels about it. So
okay, good.
And then John and I, we've been on the legislature. Of course, everybody knows it started up again, and so we've been milling over bills with all the other county commissioners today and tomorrow, starting that process to see which ones we feel like are most important to us down here in the Arkansas Valley. And we've started, of course, the housing project is really getting started for southeastern Colorado. They're going to start building homes, I think starting this next month. It'll start in Ordway and Crowley County, and it'll work its way to the east and to the south into Bent County and Baca County and Prowers, and then it'll come back to Otero County. It'll be one of the last ones. But their plans are to build, I think it is 5 homes in La Junta. So they're looking at trying to get those homes all sold so they can get them built. So it's pretty exciting. It's something that's really needed in Otero County. We need some more housing, and
this is a project, Rob, for attainable housing for the frontline workers, the teachers, the firefighters, policemen, nurses.
Correct.
Can apply to own one of these homes, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
And they need to contact Donnell Berg, right? If they want to.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct. And they've started that. So if someone out there is interested in a home, I would suggest that you contact Donnell here at the county, and she would be the one that could point you in the direction of who you need to talk to.
Right, and the city of La Junta is happy to that we partnered up with Otero County and the rest of Southeast Colorado to do it.
That's
Yeah.
it, buddy.
Thank you guys, working
Yes.
together, just like
Yep.
you said, Greg.
That's right. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. And the only other thing we've really done right now, we've started purchasing, we purchased a bunch of gas because it looks like the price of diesel is going to keep going up. So we bulk purchased a bunch of diesel fuels, and we got it at a pretty darn good price. And we've started buying our road oil, purchased it because the price of it is going up and up. So we've purchased it, and we do a lot of projects for everybody in the county. I mean, we do some projects. We're going to do some for Otero College. We're going to do a couple of their parking lots, and we do some for La Junta and Swink and Chiraw. We work with whoever we need to. So we just want to let you know that we've starting to buy oil. So if you need something, let us know.
That's good.
And that's all for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Rob about anything that's happening in the county? I guess you answered all their questions, Rob.
Okay, Julie. Thank you. I appreciate everybody.
All right. Thank you, Rob. So now Rick's going to lead in with what's happening in the city of La Junta. So go ahead, Rick.
All right, well, thank you for this opportunity. And now let me start off with some of the items we're doing right now. We're selling 207 Colorado, the core building, that to Sandy Crystal Hospice. And we're just getting all the closing documents and everything ready to transfer that over. But we do have 301 Santa Fe, the old Presbyterian church, up for sale. Now we're accepting bids on that until March 9th. Minimum bid, $81,000. And that's just what we bought it for. So if you're interested or know somebody interested, have them pick up a bid package and get their bids in and make the downtown a better place. We're finishing taking out all the foundations on the houses that EPA tore down. And, right now they're finishing up on second home block of Carson on that project on the hill. Then they'll switch out on 3rd Street to the old, always called it the Capri West, but, since I see so many youngsters here, I better say, it was the storage units out there by the old Dickies. But that's going to help out that area a lot. And then we'll get our costs down, then start selling some of those lots. We won't sell the one on 3rd Street. That'll go to the wastewater treatment plant. I wish I could say that we're going to have our the tennis courts resurfaced up at College Overlook before tennis season, Rick. But the company came back and said, it's going to be April before they get it, and we already know they got a couple of jobs up in the metro area. They don't get them done before their tennis season. So, doggone it. We were hoping to get that done. We had 18 headstones knocked over last week, and 3 of them were damaged. One was pretty bad, and we're investigating it, but it's up to the citizens to help be vigilant on that. And when you see something going on, please get back with us and call the police. Don't put yourself in danger, but monitor, safely as you can. Just like the rest of America, we're seeing wage increases. Last year, at the end of last year, I was calling it great retirement, and anybody could retire, seemed like they did, but then all of a sudden all the wages went crazy and everybody got choices. We've been having the other power companies come in, and they offered, like our electric crew guys, $19 an hour more than what we pay. $19 an hour more.
Oh,
But the crews are dedicated to us. And they said, if we get a $5 raise, we'll stay. So we gave them a $5 an hour raise. Now I have that same thing going on in water department, wastewater. What's happened is up in the metro area with the great resignations, they started going down to Springs and that and picking up all their water and wastewater treatment technical people. Then Pueblo, they came after ours. We have one person that they offered $80,000 to because they caught her right at it. She was getting her certificate. You cannot afford to lose these individuals. They make our town run. So we're upping our wages, about $5 an hour across the board to get to keep our staff in. And this is something that it don't go away. I'm kind of worried about where does it end. And we see the same thing going on with teachers and with all the other ones. I bet you Tim could probably say the same things happening at OJC. It's just, it's tremendous, But the difference is, just like what Greg said, we're community people. We got to stick here. We got to stay. We're staying here. Let's make it work. We can do this. All right. Rob covered about the workforce housing, and our program is to tear down the houses and create lots within our community, so you don't have to put out additional infrastructure to it, like water and sewer, electric. But then it brings up those neighborhoods that have kind of decayed, and we really think that that's starting to pay off. The brick and
Now,
tile.
Rick, excuse me, could you share where the lots are going to be for these houses with the High Prairie Homes project that Rob alluded to?
Yes, ma'am. 501 Barnes and 702 Smithland. Those are both corner lots. And I call them the two Scotex houses. The one's up there on the 1500 block of Lewis, and the other one's about 1500 block of Edison. They're back to back. We're still have to go back through court on that one, you know, to get the titles on them. Just that's because the way it worked out for us. Yes, if you know somebody, and then at 4th and Hayes, and there'll be a couple of them right there. And if you haven't been by 4th and Hayes, you'll see that I tore out the elm trees and stuff. Anytime we get a chance to kill out the dead trees around here, we're going to do it. And then what we need to do is just replace them with color trees. You know, during the 70s, you saw the South Metro area do that. And you look at that today, and it's a color palette. We can change that canopy over time, but it just takes time. But we got to start. We do have a tree program. We'll go 50-50 with you. If you have a widowmaker and stuff like that, we'll get, you know, we'll just help trim it out. You know, it has to be on the right of way, or it has to be a very hazardous tree. But, you know, if you know anybody that is in that situation, come see us. Brick and Tile Park, you know, we'll be starting that next month. I'm still working with CDOT on the trail design, which is separate from the Brickyard Park itself, but it includes the two bridges to get over there. So, you know, that'll make us come up through Maple and down to it until we could get through the CDOT process. And there were another group that came after some of my water guys, offering them $2,000, you know, just as a signing bonus. You know, you got to quit robbing each other like that. Our new city engineer, Mike Weber's leaving us. He got him a job at water resource place that paid a lot more money than we do. You can't blame him, folks. You can't blame him. We're waiting for oil. Can't do our programs without the way Otero County helps us out. I've always appreciated that program, even back when I was the county engineer in the 80s. You know, it just was a good way for the county to get back to the cities and the cities to get ahead on their streets. Starting to hear a lot about cats in the downtown area and different ones, and people feeding them, and, you know, the business owners, they're tired of it. You know, and they're calling me and stuff. We do not have any cat ordinances or anything like that, but it's continuing to seem to be a rising subject matter. And we purchased a couple of cameras for our downtown area through Motorola, and they pan in, pan out. And it's going to be the beginning of a system so that we can work with business owners and the downtown area to put cameras up and have the police monitor it, and so we could catch some of these fools, I guess, you know, people that are in our downtown vandalizing, trying to rob places, and that has to stop. Just like with the headstones out the cemetery, it has to stop. The HSD is going great. You know, that's the Health Service District. My hat's off to that board. You know, they did it right. They're doing a great job. I've had people ask me saying, Rick, you could have got that done faster. No, I couldn't have done that. Not during this time and stuff. And they're doing a great job, you know, and we need to recognize it and celebrate that, because at the end of the day, we're going to have us a top facility in our community that will help us grow. And, you know, and then, you know, like Casa del Sol, I see Sheridan there. They got a great project going, you know, and helping us out. La Junta lost a historic building yesterday. You know, that building was a part of the old Santa Fe hospital system. You know, when the Santa Fe first moved in and took over, they owned from Smithland, 5th and Smithland over to about Rice, all the way down to the rail yards. And that building was what I've been told over the years was the first hospital before they built the Santa Fe hospital. And then once they built the Santa Fe hospital, that's where the superintendent lived, the nurses lived, and I guess they had it as a tuberculosis center during the 20s. And but it's always been a part of La Junta's history. And that's the last part of that history that just diminished. So, and with that, we'll be working on streets as soon as we can get oil. And hopefully that's by mid-month next month, folks. So.
Does anybody have any questions for Rick? Great report, Rick.
Well, thank you. You know, it's a great city to work with, and I can work with great people around here. And when I see the people that staring back at me, it gives me hope for the future.
So does anybody staring at Rick have a question for him?
Come on, get me with your best shot.
Well, thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you all.
Okay, is Jane Wheeler on from Otero College? Or
Yes.
Dawn? Oh, okay, there
Can
you
you see
are.
me?
Okay, I can see you. Yes, go ahead,
Thank you.
Jane.
Sorry,
Share with us
that
what you have.
Took me a moment there. Thank you for having me, and I've enjoyed what everyone's had to say so far. I'm talking about a scholarship today, a new scholarship that Otero College has, and it is funded by the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative. They started this, it's called Finish What You Started. And the first Finish What You Started scholarship was in 2020 in Adams County. And just the next year, 2021, that COSI received quite a bit more money from the American Rescue Plan Act to expand Finish What You Started. And that is when Otero College received a sizable amount to be dispersed over a 2-year period. And so there are some eligibility requirements. The first one is the student must plan to enroll or be enrolling at a Colorado public college or university. And the second, a student must be pursuing first higher education, certificate, or degree. So they cannot hold any certificates or degrees. This has to be the first one to qualify. And the undergraduate in-state student must fill one of these 2 requirements. They must have some college, but no degree. The student also has to have been stopped out for 2 or more consecutive semesters. So some college, no degree, and have been stopped out for 2 or more consecutive semesters. The second one is a first-time student who was admitted either between fall of 2019 and, or I'm sorry, spring of 2019 and fall of 2021, but they didn't enroll. So it would be a first-time student that wanted to go to college kind of at that onset of COVID and never actually registered and started classes. So I guess, you know, to recap that, they must be enrolling in a public college, pursuing the first higher education degree in one of the 2, some college, no degree yet, and have been stopped out for 2 or more consecutive semesters. And those can be anytime. It doesn't have to be just the last 2 semesters. It can go way back. Or a first-time student that enrolled between spring of 2019 and fall of 2021, but never they never started class. They were admitted, but they never started class. And the last requirement is they must attest to having experienced some economic loss during COVID-19 or due to COVID-19. And I think, you know, if we all thought about it, we probably all could check that box. We've all been impacted one way or another economically by COVID. You know, some much more severe than others. And I'm sorry to say, but that is a reality. But this is a great scholarship to get people back into college and to finish their degree. The money can be used for tuition, books. It can be used for non-academic purposes, just for the cost of everyday living. And we can also, with this scholarship, provide support services, such as one-on-one guidance, tutoring. If the student has a difficult class and they need a little extra help, we can walk along beside them and help them with that. And, you know, we can help them find resources in our community. And that's one reason, you know, I want to meet a lot of you, all of you, face to face eventually, is because you can provide resources to students that, and so it's a great opportunity to collaborate on things like that. And I guess the end result is we want to remove barriers that have prevented students from finishing their degrees. It could be a financial hold that's not allowing them to enroll. They may not be able to afford daycare or travel expenses. This is a win-win situation because the money is available for these students and they will be positioned to earn a livable wage and graduate with less debt and positively contribute to the growth of Colorado's economy and hopefully to Otero's economy as well. But I wanted to let you know too that this is on our Otero website. So if you have somebody in your family or friends that you know, direct them to our website under scholarships. And there is a submission form for Finish What You Started. It's very short and it's very user friendly. Trust me, I have gone through the process. And so it's very user friendly. You can all call me too. Call me with any questions that you have.
And what's your phone number, Jane?
719-384-6802. And my email is jane.wheeler@otero.edu. And I would love to have an opportunity to answer any questions you have. Again, this is a short period of time to spend this money, 2 years. And we do have a sizable amount that we can distribute. So, you know, it's worth it for somebody that's been kind of on the fence thinking about going back to college if they have some college but no degree, or a first-time student that did enroll but during those pre-COVID or during those COVID years,
Right.
But they didn't actually start. So
It is a great program. So if everybody reaches out to folks that are young people that they know, that would be great.
And even, I mean, I have a 74-year-old gentleman that's finishing his degree. So it's
Cool.
not just for young people. It's traditional and non-traditional students. This is for anybody that is wanting to pursue a higher education degree. And I think it will, you know, it'll benefit our community and just benefit Colorado's economy in general.
Well, thank you very much. I think Dr. Alvarez wanted to share a few things.
Okay.
Tim, if you want to share what you have.
Julie, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. I can.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad Jen was able to join again. It's trying to serve non-traditional populations is really important to me. And
Dr. Alvarez, you probably need to step back a little bit. It seems like you're echoing or something.
Okay. So we have started our 5-year strategic planning process. And part of this means that we want to reach out to the community and our partner organizations. So we do have a website that has information on it. I would encourage anybody, we're doing this thing that we're calling 2 for Tuesday. So people can answer a couple surveys that will provide us information. So you can find that at www.otero.edu.
Okay.
The easiest way to find it is to go to strategic planning, and then we will have 2 for Tuesdays every Tuesday. So we invite the community to participate, to give us feedback. And over the next few weeks, we're going to be holding roundtables internally, and then we plan to go externally.
Okay.
We're really excited about this. A couple focus areas. We really want to make sure that we want to serve our adult population. So we're really going to start exploring ways that we can serve our adult learners. But then also, what are the kind of programs that we need to consider offering on this campus?
All right.
Whether it's coding, whether it's Cisco, whether it's GIS or other particular programs. So we really need to get some feedback from the community.
Okay.
And then lastly, our your Rattler team, men's basketball team won South Region, which gave us the opportunity to host the regional conference. So that will be here on campus March 3rd to the 5th. And you probably know that most of our hotels are going to be full because we're going to have all these teams here in town. So it does help contribute to our economic vitality. So they will be on campus March 3rd to the 5th. So if you have the opportunity to come out and root on your Rattlers. That's all I have, Julie. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you. All right, Rick, if you'll come on and talk about East Otero School District, we welcome you.
Start with just echoing something Tim brought up. Go Rattlers as a legacy. Played there 30 years ago. My brother who played there as well. My daughter who went there as well. It's always nice to see bringing the region tournament here. And ironically, Alyssa's moving home and she's super excited to go watch some games next week. So the district is really in recovery mode still from the pandemic. We're starting the process of planning for next year. And probably just like, Rick and Tim and I, we've all talked at some point about retaining and recruiting folks to come and work for the wages that we're allowed to give. And, we can't compete with the Front Range, although the cost of living is significantly cheaper in a lot of ways. The younger generation coming in is not really wooed by being able to get a $300,000 house as opposed to an $800,000 house. They'd rather work 3 jobs than 1 job. To stay in that Front Range. So we're battling that a little bit. We're battling trying to, keep increasing the wages for our staff and making things more competitive and livable. When you've got an inflation rate of 7%, that's just a flat impossibility. And, when we contract out things like food service or maintenance and some of these services that a lot of schools do, the contracts are written to where those costs will go up by the CPI, which is, that's impossible to keep up with for us. Right. And so we're battling that. We're battling trying to get materials for projects. I saw Kelly Jo on here. I know it was a year late, but we approved the lighting project a month before the pandemic, and it's finally finished. I think this last performance, we finally got to utilize our new lighting system. The sound system will be next, but we were super proud of finally getting that lighting taken care of. Hopefully it was good. It looks good, but from my perspective, I wouldn't know the difference. I know the control part is much easier to function and manage, and it's more efficient. We're in the process. We had a lot of water damage in our gym prior to the pandemic that was supposed to get fixed that was never fixed. And so we will be addressing that this summer. Lots of roofing issues with all the wind we've had. Our pool roof will have to be replaced after basically gutting the mechanical room last year and getting that fixed. Our bus barn, if we trying to figure out how we can get the interior complete, some of the lead time for materials in there, 18 months to get metal studs.
Wow.
We have an HVAC project that is tied to grant relief funds from the COVID to improve air quality. And a couple of the items there are 18 to 22 months out for chillers and some of the things that we need to complete that project. What's hard is with soft grant money, and you're on a timeline to have it spent before a certain date. If the lead time doesn't allow it to get here, we're hoping to get some waivers to be able to complete the jobs. But really, you know, we're just trying to plan for normal. Excuse me. One positive, we are looking at going back to what they called, I can't even remember the words they called it, but basic sickness protocols like we had before the pandemic. And if we can stay in blue, yellow, or green, we'll be able to basically function like we did before the pandemic. No contact tracing, testing, any of that. The only real question that stays in place and refers to a higher authority will be the masks on public transportation. That's a federal thing. I'll be honest, I have a hard time seeing it followed very well. It's hard to police, almost impossible for a bus driver to pay attention to who's wearing what behind them while they're trying to focus on the road. But we're excited, and hopefully our community can stay in those upper three categories so we can get back to a real normal and really start functioning. That's always nice to hear ahead of prom and graduation and spring band performances and choir performances and those kinds of things. So other than that, it's really kind of just typical calendar-like things that we're trying to work through.
Now, Rick, I have two questions. When is spring break and when is school out?
Spring break is the week after next, the 14th through the 19th, I think is what it is.
Okay. All right. And then when's the last day of school?
The last day of school, let me pull my calendar here real quick for the exact day.
And graduation?
Let's see here. Graduation is May 22nd.
Okay.
And the last day of school is May 26th, and that's a half day.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Rick about school and East Otero School District?
Julie, I just have one quick question.
Okay.
Rick, can you set the date for the start of next school year?
The calendar is in. It's actually being reviewed right now. We're hoping to approve it at the March meeting, but right now the start of school we're really trying to work it to be after the fair.
Okay.
I talked to Kermit this morning, and Rocky Ford actually is going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of Fair Week, and then have Thursday, Friday off, and then come back. So that's there's still some wiggle room. It'll either be the 15th or the 22nd, I believe, of August.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering that. All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Rick. We appreciate your sharing with us about the school district.
Thank you.
Lynn Kroll from Arkansas Valley Regional Medical Center. Are you with us?
I am. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Go
Got
ahead,
me?
Lynn.
Okay. So first of all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to share some things with you about AVRMC. We just completed our community health needs assessment, and we board approved that Tuesday night. We'll get that posted on our webpage for you to read. It's a 204-page document, which outlines how we went through that process. But we identified 5 of what we consider to be prioritized needs for our service area. And the first is access to primary and specialty care services. The second is the prevention, education, and services to address high mortality rates, chronic diseases, and preventable conditions. The third one is access to affordable care and reducing health disparities among specific populations. The fourth is access to mental and behavioral health care services and providers. And then the fifth is our continued focus on our COVID-19 prevention and our response. We are starting to see some of our volumes returning to pre-COVID levels as people continue to get a little bit more comfortable in getting out. For the past 2 years, we have seen 700 COVID patients, 235 inpatients, and 465 through our emergency room. Right now, we have one COVID patient in-house, so we have seen a decrease in the number of inpatients from COVID during January and February, and hopefully we'll see that trend continue. Back on January the 1st, we increased our starting minimum wage to $15, and then we also increased our clinical staffing salaries by $8 an hour, and that's allowed us to get in close to 17 applications, RN applications, and we're trying to hire those people in and get rid of our contract labor. And then finally, I just want to say thank you for the community recognition at the Chamber Banquet. Our 284 employees really appreciate that, and it's good, for what we do on a day-to-day basis to receive, community recognition. So we appreciate that, and just want to say thank you.
Lynn, when you mentioned getting rid of the contract labor, are those the traveling nurses and doctors that come through, or what is it?
It's traveling nurses.
Okay. And their wage is quite a lot more than what we would be paying, right? If we can hire it locally.
Right. And in order to combat that, we've also developed our own pool of people that want to have just short-term employment for like 13 weeks. It's an hourly wage, no benefits or anything like that. And we've had, I think, 6 people sign up for that. So.
Oh, wow. That's a great idea. Yeah. Very good. Does anybody have any questions for Lynn about the hospital and the medical center there? Well, I guess not, Lynn. We thank you for being here and sharing with us, and we look forward to hearing next month about what's going on. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Kimberly Gallegos from Woodruff Memorial Library. She's the Programming and Outreach Coordinator. Are you on, Kimberly?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So we are bringing the month of February to a wrap. We've had lots of stuff going on, lots of youth programming. We brought back Lego Club this month, which maybe doesn't seem like a big deal to people, but it was a big deal for us. The kids love Lego Club, and during the pandemic, we were kind of at a loss of how to sanitize thousands of Legos every time that they built with them.
So is that what Lego Club is? They get
yes.
to come and build with Legos?
Yep. So we provide literally thousands of different styles of bricks and people, animals, food, all kinds of different stuff. And they come in and they might just be doing something that they choose to build, or we might have a Lego building challenge. Might have some kind of theme like for a holiday, and whatever they build gets put on display for the month. And so they have been very creative, and we have those builds on display right now. So if you come to the library, you can see that. Our other youth activity, our other youth programs continue. We've got a teen group. I'll start from the lower age. Story time is birth through pre-K. We have that every Friday at 10 o'clock here in the children's area. And then also on Friday is the next age group, which is kindergarten through 6th grade. We do something different, a different activity every week. And then we have something for teens, 7th through 12th grade. That is on Tuesdays from 5 to 7. Again, the calendar will show you what we're doing each week. Know that with the teens, I do try to incorporate a life skills once a month. And so this one was how to cook breakfast. And so it can range, but they usually will have a game day, a craft day, a life skills day, and then one day that we show a movie. We also have the winter adult reading program going on right now. So if you enjoy reading already, or maybe this would be an incentive for you to read, every book that you read gets your name into a drawing to get some kind of prize. And so Lynn Martin organizes all of that, and we have that available. It's all done online through, you can go through the website or an app called Read Squared, and that has just made it very convenient for everyone that wants to use it. We also use that platform for the summer reading program. So it's a nice way for you to get familiar with that if you plan on your kids being involved with the summer reading program. So for WARP, we use the summer reading program theme, which is Oceans of Possibilities. And so if you come to the library, you'll see that there are already amazing things being made right now. Lydia, JB, and Christine Rios have been putting together some decorations. So we actually have what would be a visual for kids and adults. We're thinking this would be like a teenage whale tale. They can come and look at that. That's up right now. They're building an Great Pacific octopus. And so it is supposed to be like life size of what the biggest one that they've ever found, the size of it. And so it's all sewn and stuffed, and it's getting the suckers sewn onto it as we speak. So make sure you come down and look at those great decorations. So we've really got things for all ages. I want to plug some things that maybe people don't know about. We do the free legal self-help clinic on the second Thursday of every month. We only get a few slots for that. So that's Rick Morgan, he does those, him and a volunteer. This is a way for people to get a 15-minute session of free legal help. So if you want more information about that, call the library. We've also got, we are a site for pickup for KN95 masks and surgical masks. You do have to be present to pick those up. So you can come once a month and pick those up here at the front desk at the library. We also started distributing COVID tests this week. So you are allowed 2 boxes of tests. There are 2 tests in each box. We are telling people, reminding them that we are not a testing site. So if you are experiencing symptoms, please don't come in the library. You can, our curbside service is still going on. Heather has kept that going, our director. And so you can call curbside. We'll take the tests, the mask, whatever you need out to the car. The person or people that are receiving those do have to be in the vehicle or in the library to receive them. And if you have any other questions, you can call the library at 384-4612. Our information is also on our website, lahunta.colibraries.org, and then we have Facebook as well.
Very good. I want to know what day or time or night the Lego Club meets.
Oh, good. It is on the calendar. It is going to be on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday evenings.
Okay.
So 5 to 6:30, and then there will be one Saturday. And for the Saturday, I am trying a morning time. That one is from 10 to 11:30. And then if you are interested in the winter adult reading program, Lynn is doing an adult Lego fun session.
See,
yes.
Nobody would have known that if I hadn't asked.
Yes, some of the parents get more involved than the kids during our Lego time. So that was pretty cool to include.
Does anybody have any other questions for Kimberly about library services and what's going on there? Thank you very much, Kimberly.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, Sheridan, you have lots to report on at Casa del Sol and the new building out there. So just come on and tell us about it.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. Yes, I just want to give you a kind of a brief update on what's going on. If you've had an opportunity to drive by, you can see the construction has moved along very quickly on our project. We're building 4 duplexes, which are 8 apartments. And we broke ground in the early fall, and our finish date was supposed to be September this year. But actually, because construction has gone along well, with the, we've had the support of the city, with the water department, electrical department, Black Hills and so forth, getting everything in place. We've moved up, and our move-in date now is July 1st instead of September. So we have really moved along, and we've had crews working through the holidays, working on the weekends, and it's just really a nice project in the sense that everybody's committed to doing it. Arkansas, Ark Valley Construction has done a great job. They've used contractors both locally and out of town, and we really encourage them to use local contractors as much as they could, and they have done that. So anyway, things are moving well, and right at the moment we have the 8 apartments available, and I actually have 5 of them committed to rent July 1st. So it's gone well. We're pleased with it.
Now, will there be some sort of a grand opening, Sheridan, so that we can see those, or not?
Yes, we are going to plan an open house once we know for sure that we have one that we can do that on. And we will make that available so everybody can kind of come and see what they look like. A new design from the older duplexes that we have, different kind of look just because of construction supplies available and so forth. But we've really changed the look, and I think people will be impressed with them. Very good. So what I would encourage you to
go ahead.
If there's anybody else that's interested in building retirement housing for retirees, I can tell you I have a long waiting list of people both from local, out of town, and out of state wanting to move to La Junta. Right now I have 20 people on a waiting list.
Wow.
And I've sent out 5 packets in the last 2 weeks to out of towners that are interested in moving here. So again, it's a great opportunity. We've reached our limit. That doesn't mean others can't jump in and do something too. So we would encourage that.
So do they indicate why they would like to move to La Junta? Are they coming from the city to Southeast Colorado, or?
A big percentage have been cost of living moves. They're moving here because of leaving the big cities and so forth. A number of people are moving back because they have family and or were in the area over their lives. And so it's just a mix.
Right. Okay. So does anybody have any further questions for Sheridan? Well, thank you very much. We look forward, gosh, July 1st will be here before we know it.
I know it is scaring me. It's moving too fast.
Hopefully it'll be warmer, of course. So thank you, Sheridan.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to hear about some exciting community things with regard to plays and that sort of thing. Kelly Jo Smith, who is a known director, actress, all of that. She's going to share with us what she's got going and an exciting event that's happening in Rocky Ford tonight. So Kelly Jo, you want to take over?
Well, thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. I haven't been in a Zoom meeting for quite some time, so I'll make sure I could find the microphones in it. Well, thank you so much. Yes. I got to say first a shout out to the Fairway in exploring some possibilities. And when I retired, I knew that I wanted to stay in the arts and grow in the arts. And so I formed this KJ Creative so that I could do art, do outreach, workshops, writing, this sort of stuff in the arts. And we were sitting out there in their back banquet hall. I had this idea of this play because of COVID. If you saw this play, it's 3 of the first ladies, Lady Bird, Pat Nixon, and Betty Ford, that come out and talk about their experiences with their husbands and the Times and the White House and all of that. And I just saw that it was possible to do that in that back room there. And I went to Vance and the Fairway and with this idea of a dinner theater, and they jumped on board and were fantastic to work with and did a great job. So we were out at the Fairway with the dinner theater and performed out there last weekend. And tonight, for one night only at the Rocky Ford Grand, we are going to be performing it. So we've taken our show on the road to do it there. And we have some other places that are in negotiations, touring, trying to stay within an hour, 2 hour local, we don't have to drag all of our stuff out that far. but yeah, it's a wonderful script. And I got to tell you, the most extraordinary thing that happened with this, I have done lots of plays and directed lots of plays. I retired from the high school here and taught theater up there for over 35 years. So lots of plays. And I have never had a playwright call me. And she did, the playwright of this called just to chat and talk about the characters and her process and some of the pitfalls that she knew about, which made this kind of really exciting to get to speak to her about that.
Where
So that's
does
that.
she
Rocky
live,
Ford.
Kelly? Where does she
She's
live?
in New York. Oh,
I see.
Yeah, Elaine Brumke. And so yeah, and she's an Emmy award-winning actress. And you if you saw her, The Sopranos. I mean, I could go through a list of stuff that she's done, so you'd know her. And I thought this would be COVID friendly if we did, each of the ladies, one of them. So if one person got COVID, the whole thing wouldn't shut down, kind of thing. So that's what I've been looking for, which is why I chose Almost Maine to do at the Picket Wire, because it was vignettes as well. So it's tonight at 7 o'clock at the Rocky Ford Grand, if you are there. And I'll also tell you that we are preparing, Children's Theater is preparing for the summer show, which is going to go in June 22nd, open there. And we are doing Moana, Disney's Moana there. And we have auditions coming up in April. And people can find information about that on our Facebook page.
So how many,
what's the exciting project?
What's the approximate number of cast members in the children's play?
I think it calls for like 25, but it's kind of an interesting script because the water and the ocean plays such a part in it and so forth. So the ensemble, and I can see maybe some little fish in this ocean as well. So I think it'll give me the flexibility to kind of expand where we've got talent to expand to. So, and we do that up at the high school in conjunction with the support of East Otero School District.
And I'll get to use the new light.
Yeah. Yes. I went to a training on that and they are fantastic. Absolutely wonderful.
So
you won't believe what we can do with what they've got up there now.
Oh, very good. So does anybody have any questions for Kelly Jo? I want to encourage you. I saw the play at the golf course out at the Fairway last weekend. So anybody who hasn't seen it, get over to Rocky Ford tonight at 7, Kelly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
7 o'clock. And I think it's $10 a person to see it at the Grand Theater.
And any of the history of what's going on from Lyndon Johnson up through, Gerald Ford, you really do appreciate, I think, the touchstones that these ladies talk about from their perspective. So it's historical, it's interesting, it's touching, and it's funny as well.
Right.
So hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, I encourage anybody to go if you didn't get to see it last weekend. So does anybody have any questions for Kelly? Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing from you in the future too. So that's the end of our agenda. Greg, do you want to come on and you have anything else you want to share about the chamber or anything that's happening in the community?
No, I think we covered it all. It was a great BLT. We'll do it again next month. I don't have the date in front of me, but
it's always the last Thursday of the month from 11:45 to 1 o'clock. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance, and I don't see her on here. We did hire a new chamber coordinator, Timmery Foster.
She's on here, but she's just not, you just can't see her.
I just can't see her. If you haven't had a chance to meet her, stop in, or you might meet her at an event or something. She's doing a great job for us. We're very fortunate to have her, and I think you've already seen some marked improvements with some of our communications and things. And so I failed to give her a shout out and introduce her, but Timmery is much appreciated from the chamber. So last thing, go ahead, Julie.
If there is anybody, before you close, Greg, if there's anyone on here that just wants to share something quickly about their organization, we have a few minutes that we could share. You could go ahead and share. Does anybody have anything? I see Cynthia Sollenberger from CASA on. Do you have anything going on, Cynthia, you'd like to share about?
We do have our spring, can you guys hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, our spring fundraiser is coming up Wednesday, April 20th, and that's going to be at the Otero College Banquet Hall. So that's the next thing we have, and I was going to see if maybe I could tell you guys a little bit more about that next month.
Yes, we'll get you on here, but let's mark the date, April 20th.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, April 20th.
Okay.
It's a 1-hour event. It's 12 noon to 1 p.m. With registration starting at 11:30.
Okay. Well, we'll hear from you more next month then about it, but thanks for bringing it up. Is there anybody else that has any events that we need to mark our calendars on? I think Brooke Leonard just had a fundraising event for the Resource Center, I believe.
Yes, we did. The second weekend of February, and it was a very successful event. Thank you. And if you do want to go ahead and save the date for next year, we already have a date set for February 11th of 2023 for our annual comedy show.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you. So is there anything else anyone wants to share? Greg, just wrap it up and we'll be done, and see you next month on the last Thursday of March. I'm not sure what the date is either. So thank you, Greg.
No, just thanks for everybody. Encourage everybody to get out and support Kelly Jo and her endeavors. I think we talk a lot about, I mean, that's a new business. She started a new business. That's really cool. So get a chance to support her. That'd be great. We've got the Region 9 tournament coming in at the college, which will be another big, not only an exciting thing, but an economic boom to our community. So support that as well. So, you know, Lahana's a great place. We just need to continually work with each other and continue to make it better. And, you know, sometimes we all get down on Lahana, or why are we doing this, or why are we living here? And I think these types of things and a lot of the activities that we have in Lahana, we just need to reflect on what we have and continue to build on it. We do have a great community, and appreciate everybody's efforts.
Yep. I appreciate it. Thanks.
There's
Here's
Timmery.
Timmery. She's
There's
here.
Timmery. So, welcome.
So come on in and meet her. She's doing a great job. So
Yes.
We'll see everybody on the 31st of March. That's the last Thursday in March. So
Right.
thank you. Bye-bye.